why don't people just relax? Why? Welcome to my channel. So today I want to make a video about why you shouldn't decenter men, because decentering men 9 times out of 10 is actually just centering them. So let me say it again. Decentering men 9 times out of 10 is simply centering them. So I see a lot of videos go around about how we should decenter men, focus on our careers, focus on our female friendships, focus on girlhood, pour self-love and energy into yourself, and not worry about dating or marriage and kids and things like that. And I think that decentering men is a really good idea. Like, I think it was a good concept. It makes sense. It's just basically saying don't put all your effort and energy into finding a man or worrying about somebody else. And especially as a young woman, when we have so much time to work on our careers and just do so much with our life. And I think in the past generations, everything was so focused on marriage, kids, finding someone, doing life together, and not really discovering yourself or having time before you move in with someone or before you have kids at like 21, 22, 23. Yeah, so I want to make this video because instead of decentering men, which is actually putting so much emphasis on men that they become more centered, I think that we should all be more neutral about things and center ourselves and do the habits and have the friends and do all those things, but still date. I feel like you can do both. And I think the whole problem with the decentering men movement is we're centering them more. Think about it. Anytime you say, oh, I don't want this, oh, I don't have any money, or anything you focus on, you're giving your attention to. So if we're making all these videos about decentering men, we're literally making men the center of our universe. And I can say that because I tried the decentering men and I was more worried about them. And I feel like also, if you're decentering men to secretly hope that you find someone, then you're not decentering them. You're centering them even more. Like, it's almost like the decentering men movement is giving men even more power. And I think especially if you are a woman who is straight and interested in men, and eventually if you found somebody that's really good for you, like, why would you try to decenter them so much that you don't even give yourself a chance to experience love or dating and enjoy it? And I feel like dating right now is so messed up on all forefronts. I think everybody's confused, to be honest. I don't think everybody's confused. I just think this generation, there's just a lot going on. And I don't think it's the best. And I think the decentering men movement and the new age of not revolving your life around marriage and kids, I don't think that there's anything inherently bad about that, but I think that it is okay to want those things, and you should want them if you have that desire. And there's a way to focus on yourself and have hobbies and have a full life and not be miserable if you're single without decentering men, but actually just centering them and actually just putting so much emphasis on whether you're decentering men or whether you're dating. Like, why don't we just chill a little bit? Like, I think it just puts so much pressure. And then if you try so hard to decenter them and become a man hater, you could also be shooting yourself in the foot. The sun though. And I just think that we should not put so much emphasis on what we don't want. We should put more emphasis on what we do want. So instead of decentering men, you should just center yourself, center your world, center your happiness, center your hobbies, center yourself. And by doing that, you might automatically be not as worried about what a man is doing if your life is so full. But that's not the same as decentering men, like all these videos are about, because like genuinely that can just make things worse. I feel I personally tried to decenter men, and then I just realized that didn't help me. Like, I think we should center ourselves. Maybe we should just say, let's center ourselves instead of decenter men, because again, anything you're putting your focus on, whether it's a negative intention or positive intention, you're going to attract more of it. So if you don't want to center or date because men have done you wrong, you're going to subconsciously attract more men doing you wrong by decentering them. So that's why I think it's important that we just change the movement and stop putting so much emphasis on men and the effect they might have on our emotions, and instead put that energy onto ourselves, but also allow yourself to have an in-between, allow yourself to date, have fun. I think that wanting something or craving love, there's nothing wrong with it, and I think that it's good if you have that desire to date and get out there and also just have fun and, you know, do whatever makes you happy. But the decentering men movement is actually making us all more crazy, more focused on men, less happy with dating, less happy with ourselves, and just too worried about what other people are doing or what other people are going to think. And that's another thing with the whole male-centered conversation. I also think that has a connotation of shame. And I think sometimes what people consider male-centered isn't actually male-centered. Some things are, but also wrong with being interested in the opposite sex. Like, you don't ever hear guys call men woman-centered, ever. You don't ever hear a man say to his friends, like, why are you so female-centered? Like, when guys go out, for example, and say they are, you know, like, mingling, nobody ever says, like, you should focus on your guy friends. Like, nobody ever says that. Like, why is it that with women, it's like, why are you worried about men? It's like, isn't that kind of normal? Like, that's how generations before us kept humanity alive. And I think that it is good for women to not just live their lives worried about getting married or having kids. If there is more to life, I feel like you should have other things going. But also, so I hope this makes sense. Yeah, bye.